in Colossians chapter 2. He says, I wish for you to know how great a conflict I have for you and those in Laodicea. Now keep in mind, Laodicea is the church in Revelation that thought they were rich and they were fully clothed. And he said, and you are blind and you are naked and you are wretched. And you're neither hot nor cold, and I will spew you out of your mouth. And he says, because I have seen your deeds. Not what you say you believe. One of the things that has haunted me for the last several years is a statement made by a man to me in a thing called the Truth Project, where he said, do you really believe what you believe is really real? Think about that question. Do you really believe that what you say you believe is really real? In fact, that word, that same concept, Jesus spoke to Martha when Lazarus died. Steve's mentioned it many times, and I realized that question that man had asked me 4 years ago is in the Bible when Jesus says, if you believe in me, you will never die. And then he says, do you believe this? And the point that I want to make here is that we can say we believe all kinds of things, but the way we live our lives reflect what we believe is really real, what we really believe, because that's what we act on. And so he says to this church, Laodicea, who probably said they believed all kinds of things, but whose deeds revealed that they did not, he is praying for them, that you would come to an assurance of the full understanding, to the full knowledge of the secret of God and Father and of the Christ. He wants them to come to know who God is, and he explains why in the very next verse. He says, because in them are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. Now, I've never been to seminary, but as best I can tell in using my Strongs and other things, the word all means all. In him, in knowing him and looking at who he is and looking at the nature and character of God, we begin to get the wisdom and the knowledge we need for all things. And you know what we've sadly done in the church, and I see it so often, is that we want to compartmentalize our lives and say what that really says is, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge regarding church-related things. It doesn't have anything to do with politics or cultural issues or art or education or media or business. In fact, I hate when politicians say to me, well, that's just politics, as if there's something that's just politics that's unrelated to God. In him are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. And then he goes on to explain why this is so important, because absent that, in the very following verse, he says, I say this lest anyone deceive you with persuasive words. I'm a lawyer. We use persuasive words. I call them weasel words. And the fact is that lies are often very persuasive. They're very persuasive. If they were out and outright stupid, we would never believe them. And we're being told, and in fact, later on in this chapter, in verse 8, he says, see to it. Watch out, beware in other translations, that no one shall be carrying you away as spoil through the philosophy and vain deceit, according to the deliverance of men, according to the rudiments of the world, and not according to Christ. In him are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge, and you need to understand that, and you need to know that, and you need to know who he is so that you are not taken captive by persuasive words, by what men are going to tell you and what they make up about reality. As if we're not careful, and these are words not spoken to the unbeliever but to the church, we can be taken captive. And so often we are.